I'm just going to quickly share this on Facebook. See if anybody wants to stop by. It's Sunday morning, nice and early at 4:53. On Vancouver Island, British Columbia. The month of December is upon us. It's also Crohn's Disease Awareness Week. If you want to learn more about Crohn's disease, this is the time to do it. I myself have had Crohn's disease, diagnosed in 1984, but probably had it most of my life. Learned to live with it. What can I say? And it is also Cat Lovers Month. To all you cat lovers out there, National Tie Month, if you're looking for a good gift for anybody. It's Christmas Lights Day. So enjoy all the twinklies and decorations, whether you celebrate the holidays or not. They're always nice. In Portugal, they're celebrating Independence Day, as they are in Romania. So have fun, people. So what's my plans for the day? Well, now that I've got my Google security issues set out, and I know for a fact that anybody that goes to gocybernaut.com, that's GOCYBERNAUT.com, will be safe, their information encrypted, it's all great. And now that Google accepts that too, I put a sitemap up so it can crawl my 660 something pages. But in the meantime, I'm going in, I'm allowed to do about 10, 12 pages a day to actually insert into the for inclusion, so I'll be doing that. Yeah, I'll be beef up my Christmas page a little bit and promote that. I'll be promoting National Brownie Day. I've got a proofread National Brownie Day that's coming up next week, and do my stats, which I haven't done for the last 2 months since I've been quite seriously ill and not able to concentrate and things like that. But I think December I'll start again, and hopefully numbers are going to rise now that we've got this Google issue fixed up. Maybe people like you can pass this on. You can go to the website and you'll enjoy it and pass it on to your friends. I'll tell you a little bit about it first. First off, I have autism. I am neurodivergent, and certain websites I would really find distressing. I mean, there's like ad servers here and ad servers there, and everything's trying to load, and it feels like something's pulling on my page, the computer, and something's not right here, and this is popping up, and that's flashing over there, and then we got some guy talking, and I'm like, okay, this is too much. I can't handle it, but I love information. I love putting information together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to figure a way to think of subjects. Let's think of celebrations. Every day there's celebrations. And I'm going to create a page for every celebration I can find for that day. But that page, say you're going to Portugal Independence Day. On that Portugal Independence Day, you're going to find all the necessary, all your history, geography, wildlife, travel, government, all the cuisine, whatever, the important facts right up front on the web, the links to those, with the least amount of distress and flashing lights and loading ad service and things as possible. Then I'm going to throw in 3 or 4 videos, like one about history, one about travel, maybe one about folk tales, maybe about cuisine. Yeah, 3 or 4 of those, and end it maybe if I can with a nice documentary. And into the mix, then let's put in 3 Google books or 3 Amazon books, because people might want a book, or that'll lead them into direction. I mean, history, a book for kids, and maybe a cookbook. That'll lead them in the right direction to finding their books about Portugal they're looking for or whatever it is. I'm related. This page is related to other pages I do. Let's stick those in. I love to play GeoGuessr. That's one of my favorite things to do. So I'm going to throw a GeoGuessr map in if I bought a country and I possibly can. Hello, V-Team Paranormal. How are you this morning? I was just explaining my website because I'm here on my own. With nobody to talk to. Oh, I am going to sit up for my coffee, but I'm still, stay laying on your side all day. Sort of medical situation. So here's a cup of joy to you. I was just explaining my day and my website because I would really like people to come there. Oh, I'm good. Did you enjoy the parade? Now, were you watching online or were you watching in person? The Vancouver Island Santa Claus Parade in Victoria. I quite enjoyed it. The government buildings look beautiful with the lights behind, but the trucks and it. At first I thought, why would they have their Santa Claus parade at night? Well, now that I know, because those lights were amazing on some of them. And I got a good kick, out of it. We have all your local people, from local dancers to local like thrifties, and I'm country grocer and that. But things like the guy that built the pirate ship, and every year he would sort of add to it. He started with sort of like a donated car. I think it's quite clever. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I watched it on YouTube in bed too. It was quite nice. Get me in the mood here for the holidays. Because it seems like when I went to watch the Macy's Day Parade, I was late. I didn't realize it would be, I thought it'd be starting out later, even though it was on the East Coast, and it was raining. So basically, I think I got the very end in the rain, and that was it. So it was nice to see the one from Victoria, even though there was a slight drizzle. But hey, we live in a rainforest. What do you expect? But nothing new here on the home front. I've just been taking it easy. Sunday is actually a good day for me for YouTube. I follow Ants Canada, and he's built this sort of ecosystem over 2 floors, insects and reptiles, small reptiles, and I thought maybe that's it. I don't know, but it's like there's always drama. It's so interesting. I think it would be a great educational show. I should see if I can find it to put a link in here. So yeah, I'll probably be watching that at some point this morning, because I look forward to the 5 a.m. drop of that one. Let's see. Yeah, so the Ants Canada. I do have a young actress, not playwright, I guess playwright, screenwriter from New York named Tanya, that I also watch, and I'll probably be watching hers. Oh, here we go. Latest from Ants Canada. Ants Canada, I discovered so many animals secretly living in my vivarium. That's what it's called. Vivarium. And here's the link. And believe me, it's pretty geeky. I mean, what is this? Something that, But I think, hey, when I used to, I was the guide at About.com, the mining company for science and nature for kids. And boy, oh boy, if this was today, I would definitely have this guy on, because he makes nature and his habitat just so very interesting. It's always drama. You always can't wait till the next week, because you got the cliffhanger. And I'm thinking, boy, things sure changed. I think you'd find drama in a war between ants or a mysterious reptilian egg that happens to turn up. But he makes it all very, very interesting. So saying it is Crohn's Awareness Week. Once a week, I get to toot the horn about that situation that I had, one of my situations. So it's time for people to go out and learn more about Crohn's and what it is and what it isn't. And the one thing that I found just lately is usually Crohn's disease or inflammatory intestinal disorders go hand in hand with autism. So I guess it's the brain gut connection, and the fact that your gut, your digestive system has its own nervous system, and I don't know if this is something that's just new. It would have helped me out when I was younger because I probably would have got an autism diagnosis, taken a lot more seriously if it was if it was realized that it was connecting what was going on in my stomach, and all the time I was missing fuel. Because I'm sorry, I'm looking up. My LED lights are falling down again. Time for more double-sided sticky tape. I guess it has. I know it's in the corner here. It is too. It's been about 4 or 5 months, but I'm finding these lights are very calming to me. They're saying some people with autism have a sensitivity to lights. It's not my sensitivity. Well, maybe bright lights are my sensitivity, but I find these are really, really calming to me, especially when I'm going through a period of pain, which has been happening for the last while. I'm finding that the lights are quite comfort. Well, hello. Somebody just left. I thought somebody came in. I guess I looked a little bit too old or boring or something. Well, I watched about your doula interview about maybe 3/4 of it, and then I guess I was pulled away for probably something a dog was doing, because that's the only way I get pulled away. But yeah, it's interesting, and it brought to mind that it's another story for you that maybe you could think about. When I was about 22 years old, May 22nd, I can tell you the date because I know, May 22nd, 1979, I was very, very ill in the hospital. I'd had surgery and on my kidney, and it had gotten infected. So they had put me into this, I guess, induced coma. And I can remember at one point I was told afterwards, at one point I did actually had to be resuscitated. But I can remember that moment. I was above the doctors, not far above. I mean, like, I don't know, 8 feet above, looking down and thinking to them that it's okay. It's okay. I feel really good. And at that moment, I didn't really fear death, or I didn't fear what was coming next. I was ready if that was what to happen. For some reason, it wasn't. And here I am today. How many years later? 1970, well, a long time, a lifetime later. Here I am today. But it was just a very, very strange sensation. I don't know. People say, okay, yeah, but they had put you in a coma, or yeah, you had a really bad infection, or it was a medication or whatever. But I'm telling you, it was more than just seeing that below me. It was the, hey, it's okay. It doesn't matter. That was the time actually I went and changed my whole life. Like what had happened was they didn't realize I had a bad ulcer, and the ulcer from all this erupted or whatever, exploded or whatever. And yeah, so I made a lot of changes to my life at that point. And knock on wood, thank goodness I've never had an ulcer problem again, and I never had a kidney problem again. But yeah, so I don't know if that was sort of a on the way to after death experience, or yeah, because I didn't quite get there, but I sure felt like I was heading there. Anyways, when we went during your interview with Lisa, the doula, the death doula, it sort of hey, it sort of came, the memory sort of that came to me as I remember that day, and I know the date because it was the day. What was his name? The guy, he got elected, and he wasn't even elected for very long. Oh gosh, let me think. It's gonna drive me crazy now. What the heck was his name? Oh, May 22nd, 1979. Who was elected? Canada. Oh, come on. I'm going to ask my phone. 251. I remember the election because I can remember it on the TV, hearing it on the TV, and it was annoying me like crazy. So I thought, I know there was an election that night. Well, I hope there was. Who was elected Prime Minister on May 22nd, 1979? The heck was his name? Maybe nobody. Maybe I dreamt it all. The Conservatives won. What was his name? Joe Clark. Probably because I don't think he was a prime minister for very long, was he? But yeah, I can remember. It was just so annoying. I could hear this in the back, and that's really all I remember the whole time. Apparently, like what had happened, I was in Mount Sinai Hospital in Toronto, and it was a teaching hospital, and I became quite close to a lot of the student nurses, and they were the ones that told me. They would come and they would tell me of what had happened during that week and how ill I was, and yeah, that's how I know that at least I was put in a coma. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, because even though I did sort of see it, I was looking. It was more of this feeling that, hey, it's okay, it's fine. So I don't really fear death itself. I guess I just fear that it would be long and slow and that kind of thing. That I think it's experience of illness that scares me more than death itself. You know. But yeah, it would be interesting. So have you been a medium like is this something that you've always felt that's with you, or is this something you had to develop through like education and training, or is it just something that is a part of you? Just curious. I've got questions, of course. Yeah. My boost, my breakfast of sanity. Wow. Wow. But like, how old were you when you first really you were aware that this is something? I'm sure it's probably like the autism. It's something you have, but Jesus, don't tell anybody. But I mean, this is my experience of my family. It's like, hey, you think like that or you act like that, but keep it to yourself. The only thing, like, I think I'm pretty intuitive. I find a lot of people get drawn to me, especially when I live in the Big Island. For some reason, the Big Island of Hawaii attracts a lot of people of a different realm, I guess. And it's almost like I was a magnet or something with them. I worked in a local Cybernaut Cafe, or Cybernaut, Internet Cafe. I was a cybernaut for a long time. But I find that a lot of people with these special gifts and that would be attracted to me. And you see, I've always been different. I've always felt different. But how much of that is the autism, and how much of that is something maybe that we can't explain in this realm. Because I've always felt intuitive, but I've never really known to what exactly it is. The only real, and I know that being a medium and connecting with other realms is not the same as fortune telling and all that. And well, I haven't really gotten into the fortune telling part myself. I do follow the I Ching. And I basically, maybe a few times a year I'll consult it on what to do with the next little bit of my life. But that's about as far as it goes. Wow. Wow. I wonder, maybe it is like, even it's a DNA thing too, I wonder if like, I know, like, I have my DNA done for ancestry, which I went and sent it on to see about other aspects, and I have that gene, the empathy gene. I think 1 in 20 people have it or something, where it's constantly being set off, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time. I'm wondering if maybe the ability to open yourself up to seeing spirits or having more foresight in that way could be a genetic thing, could be in your DNA. Like, I don't know, I do genealogy, and that's how I basically know my family. I was born later in my parents' life, so of course I had one grandmother died when I was quite young. But I did have one grandmother until I was 16. And that I didn't really know any more about my family. But yeah, looking through the genealogy, that'd be interesting to do you know much of your genealogy to see maybe this is something that is genetic that goes on. Of course, we know people with special gifts and that. Not too long ago, were seen a lot different. They were the neurotypicals of the time, I guess. I guess there's always going to be a little bit of distrust with people who think differently, do things differently. Well, I'm doing a little bit better than I was yesterday. I am sitting up. I did make it to coffee, Live at 5 coffee. Managed to pass the day watching a few hours. I missed the whole week of Emmerdale, so I had a whole week to catch up on. So that kept my mind. Sometimes it's like the heaviest burden to carry is an active mind, I tell you. When we're allowed to be active. Yeah, I was ready to move on to my vintage. What year am I in? 1991 or 1991 Emmerdale. I'm watching the old ones. I was going to move back to those. And then I got your message about the parade. We tuned on to that instead, which was really, really nice. About much about Christmas I think I'll probably get is going to be from this room. So it's a good thing I enjoyed. That's the part I enjoy. I enjoy the lights. I enjoy the music. I especially like vintage television. About the holidays. I love the food. I love it. Well, I don't love eating the food. I love, the idea of it. I love the idea of Christmas. Yeah. But I don't think I'll be celebrating that much. My family's, well, yeah. It's just, I don't think I want to be getting around too much. Seems like every time I start to get a little bit better, I relapse, and I feel better. Let's put in a day's work, and the next thing you know, oh gosh, here we go again. Got to keep those high hopes. It is December. I did say my rabbits this morning. I'm very, very superstitious about that. It's really one of the things. Yeah, I can understand that. I know. When did you feel safe? I mean, to yes, it's so difficult to have it. It's so difficult to be different because you get so judged, especially when you start bringing, religious people that are stuck in their ideas into the situation. Like even till I talked to you, my whole idea of spirits and that, I just the whole idea kind of scared me because I figured they wouldn't have good intentions and that. But no, yeah, I understand. Oh, did you hear about that girl in Bowen Island? There was a girl missing, and apparently some documentary makers went there, and there's been a new break in the case. Gee, I wish they'd start doing something over here. I know there's been a few podcasts. It's funny, podcasts, and I do watch some of these true crime. I watch a woman, I think her channel's the Grizzly Crime or something. I don't watch a lot of them because a lot is just chatter. But it's amazing how these people they actually become part of the whole situation. I mean, it's gathering information and being able to share tips and things. Like she's been going on the crime. What's it? The crime and whatever it is network, regular television shows and that, to go from a podcaster to that level. It's quite interesting. But yeah, it seems like every week, either on Facebook or Twitter, there's a missing one, and from the island. It's unnerving. I mean, I wonder, is it more? Is it getting worse, or is it just we've got more access to the information? Learn about these things happening. It's just, I think too much. That is my situation. I'm not going to say a problem because it does get me through life, I guess. Except for at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep. And you live on an ambulance route. Yeah. Then having an active mind is not the greatest thing. Here's a bit of a question. I've seen a few channels, where they kind of do skits pretending that it's not real. That it's skits, but you can hear it in their voice. It's like an act. I would think that would be really bad karma as far as spirits go. I think if I was a spirit and somebody was doing something, I want to sort of give them a slap into reality. Is it bad karma to play act these things? Because I mean, I've not watched a lot, but I have seen one recently. This guy, what's his name? It's on TikTok. Oh, I can't even remember. Jorge something. Jorge. Paranormal. Oh, I can't remember the name of his channel. But I'm just thinking, are you bringing bad karma on yourself? Wow. That's got to be really, really hard on the heart. You know what I mean? To deal with a spirit that, with a spirit with has tragedy. Um, Never mind for the family, but like I say, I did have a brother that drowned in my uncle's field or cesspool. I told it was a well. I actually found an article in the newspaper when I had newspaper.com, and it was the Nanaimo newspaper, I think, when it happened, like 1955, and it said he drowned in the cesspool. And that's when I found it was not a well. You get little stories, but I think, man, he was 2.5 years old. God, how terrifying could that be? I'm hoping his spirit, I'm hoping when my mother passed, his spirit found her, both of them. Because I just can't imagine what it'd be like. Well, I knew what it was like for her because, she never got over it. And that, since it happened 2 years before I was born, this is something that I know her whole life. So I'm hoping that she found, they both found each other, and they both are peaceful for that. But yeah, it's just gotta be tough. For a life to end like that. Wow. Well, I've only started learning, just recently. It's interesting because when I lived in the house I was telling you about, which stuff was going around me all the time, but it seemed to be all in playfulness and fun. I've just refriended somebody here on Facebook who was actually lived in the house with us, and I was going to ask him. I went in a quick live in Facebook this morning when I was not too sure I was going to make it up. I was feeling pretty rough, and I noticed he popped in after I had gone. I noticed he had popped in. I thought, I'd like to get him in here because I want to ask him if he had any experiences. He was a night owl. He stayed up all night. He was a night type. That's why probably he called me at 3 a.m. today. But I want to ask him because I know he also I think would be susceptible to picking up energies. Yeah, I'm going to ask him. See what he says. And next point we chat. I'll let you know what he. Yeah, that was a great house. It's just too bad what happened. But she'll stay there forever. I'm sure she'll stay there. The biggest fear, it was on the agricultural reserve, the biggest fear of Huey was that it would be sold to a corporation, developed new townhouses or something. He really was so important to him to remain farmland. I don't know. And it probably right on the banks of the Fraser River is some of the best soil in British Columbia. I would think. It was where all the potatoes for white spot were grown, by the way. Yeah, the white spot potatoes, all during up until the 70s, came from, maybe even 80s and 90s. I don't know. They were still growing potatoes when we moved in there. Now it's all Chinese vegetables. It's leased out to a fellow named Vincent. He started leasing it out a few years before we moved in. It was great. He was always giving us find a box of bok choy or yellow watermelons or something on the porch every day. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Have you ever been involved in genealogy? Because I bet you that those two. I used to spend every Sunday, all Sunday. That was genealogy Sunday. Then when my husband got cancer, we became a dad. I made the decision this year. Until I got my income tax return, I had to cancel my ancestry account. So I've sort of put that hobby on the side. Besides, it was I pay for something I'm not using then. But I love doing genealogy. I'll do anybody who wants a genealogy done. I would do it. I would, just for the fact of learning about these people, learning about these stories. So I guess the history would be a lot like genealogical research. Hmm. Both my parents are immigrants, so I got other than my family that's been over here. I guess my spirits are all over there. My mother from very, very northern Sweden. Hence the hair. My father's family from Edinburgh, but he's of Irish, British ancestry. Yeah, and I think about these people, when I'm researching and I come to an individual, I make a time. When I do research, I take time to think about them, and in my mind, let them know, hey, your life was important. Maybe nobody that's related to you will ever think about you, but I'm admiring what you made out of life right here. Be a way of connection. I mean, can you connect a thought just by that? That would be very comforting if these people could know that. Like I have a picture from like my great 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 grandfather, and I can remember saying, "Hey, my grandmother, even great grandmother." Like I'm saying, everybody was pretty old when I was born, but I do feel a connection. I wish my own children would have the same connection and carry it on. I think probably the research that I'm doing, and I'm glad I put it all up on Ancestry, because that's probably as far as it's gonna go, as far as my family getting an interest in that. I do have grandchildren. You never know. It's always ready for them, and I have shared it with other family members along the lines. And I always get excited when somebody gets involved. For instance, I did my husband's and his cousin got a hold, and she said, "Oh, my son was at school and they were doing their ancestry, and she found your tree, and they found out that he was related to the Plantagenet family, and now everybody's saying he's a prince." And she was so excited, and I noticed 6 weeks later who shows up on his DNA list, but she does. And I'm glad to have I've gotten he was maybe 10, 11-year-old child, to get him in. I was so excited about getting him involved. And the fact that she was excited too. Ah, really? Haha, yeah. My Irish family, the Greens. The Greens, what was the other name? They had another really weird name. I can't even remember what it is. I have to look. Who's that guy that lost his hearing that was a DJ? I think about things. Hold on, I gotta pop into my ancestry. It's all got Tong. Pete Tong. Okay. The last that I've traced in my Irish family, and I think it's probably the 1800s, maybe 1700s, is the Tong family. And I so want to learn more about them. Greens, it's just too generic a name. It's hard. Scottish, I'm a funky. So I used to be a DJ, funky DJ Tutu, because I definitely am a funky. My grandmother was a funky, and they're from Edinburgh. She's a true Scot, very very Scottish. Yeah, of course my mother, mostly Swedish, fully Scandinavian, but she was basically on the Finland Sweden border, so we got a bit of Finnish, a little bit of Norwegian too. But yeah, I'm really wanting to explore my Irish heritage, but I seem to be at a standstill there. Ah, man who fought in a battle. I know there's a lot of my husband's, but yeah, I do have Vikings. Am I Scottish? When I do go back to the Stuarts. just a couple of skips back. And they were quite known, they were as not only Scottish royalty um, and some British royalty, but they were quite quite the fighters, I guess, the battlers, the uh, the knights and what. So that I think a lot of Scottish families actually go back to the Stuart family, though. Go back to the Bruce family as well, um, through a marriage between the two. But in recent battle, my father was in World War II, but he was stationed at the Second Narrows Bridge in Vancouver. So my grandfather was in World War One. Now he was over in France. He was a cook, though he wasn't actually a battler. The battle over land. Oh, that could have been that. That probably. I know so little about my mother's family. Her father died when she came over here when she was 6 or 7 in the early 1900s. And her father died a couple of years later and basically left her mother and the 5 children in pretty dire straits. So I don't really know much about that family. I've only reconnected with my cousins and found over that. But see, I don't know about Sweden, Swedish history. I think most of them were just reindeer herders and things like that because it was way, way north in Sweden. But I can see definitely in the Scottish, the Funky family, they do go back to Germany, but we're talking, let me see how many generations, 5 or 6 generations they go back to Germany. What happened was apparently one was the original Christopher Funky, was a sailor from Germany, and he got shipwrecked in Fife there, and ended up staying. Let me take a look. How far back? We go back to Germany. Oh, I'm totally somewhere wrong. Let's find me. Finding tree. Let's find me. Oh, I had to take it. It's hard to take a break from something you do every day. Let's see. The Funky family. Go back. My grandmother. My great-grandmother. My great-great-grandfather. My great-great-great-grandfather. To my great-great-great-grandfather, who was born in 1775. So at that point, before that, we'd go back to Germany. So, but I'm sure the Scottish side, there was a lot of battles and a lot of, because the families, I do recognize the families' names. They're all quite prominent family names. And it's my husband, though. He's the one that's got all the battlers. He was also Scottish. We thought he was totally Welsh. Ah. Yeah, that could be. It could be very, very well. I've gone how far have I gone back here? Let's see, my Scottish tree. Oh my gosh. 1,000 years, maybe. Yeah. I'll have to I have to wait till I get back. What I did, I downloaded all my trees. Now, just before COVID, the Vancouver Island Public Library here, the Harbourfront in Nanaimo, sold me their entire genealogical collection for $25. And I've got those big Barron's books and everything. So I thought what I'll do is I'll download my trees. I can't afford the subscription right now. I'm going to take these books and I'll do all the research from these books. And then the spring will come. I'll get my income tax return and I'll upload my trees that are fixed, and there we go. But yeah, I want to take a look. I want to take a look at these lines. If you get any initials or anything, let me know. That would help me. But yeah, there's many that could fill that. I'm just wondering, I guess it would, if it's Scottish, or do you feel it's Scandinavian? Protecting the land, family from invaders. Yeah. See, I wish I knew. I don't have a feeling that would be Sweden. That isn't even kind of a land where they. Okay, Scottish, yeah, because the Swedish is basically swampland. I can't see people protecting it, but I guess. Well, hey, they were like Vikings. Come on, they're the last barbarians, weren't they? Scottish, okay. Let me see my. I do have a few good. Let's see. I have the Wright family. Right, the Caddy family, Fowler. And I guess the families that would go out there. The Wrights, I do actually do. I feel really closer to. It's really funny because my second cousin, Bob Wright, owned the farm next to the one we lived in Richmond, and I never told him he was my cousin, but I knew he was my cousin. I don't know why. And even the ones that it farmed, they actually rented our cow barn and farmed the land, the potatoes behind it. They were Wrights too. They were my cousins, and I never told them. I don't know why I didn't. It's weird. Just, like I said, I didn't really grow up with my relatives. I grew up with myself. I was on my own. I basically raised myself. But yeah, I don't know why I told them. I think maybe because I didn't realize it until like I'd known them. We'd been living there for a few months, and I was embarrassed. But yeah, I'm gonna look into that. Get my fighting spirit from. Okay, good. Yeah, and you're right about that. You are totally right. I mean, the other day when I thought that they had lost my website, when in fact I had it backed up somewhere else, I was ready to just say, okay, let's start again. I had no problem. I just said, when can I do it? And the last few days that I've been having to stay in bed, I'm thinking, oh man, can you imagine if I hadn't found it and I had to lay here and I couldn't do anything about it? Oh, but yeah, my fighting spirit does get me in trouble sometimes. So sometimes I have to stand back and realize I don't need to fight for everybody. But yeah, I do know, I do have a strong sense of justice. If I think somebody's doing wrong and it's intentionally harmful, I will step in. I'm not physically, like I won't get up and, I'm a small person. I'm 5 feet tall. I'm not a big person. I don't think I've had a physical fight in my life. But I will call you on it. I will make you think about what you said. I just don't like people being bullies, I guess. But yeah. Well, that makes me feel good. See, now, today when I have to lay in bed, I'm going to look at my lineage, and I've got a lot of really good books that have the Scottish families and that in there. Yeah. If you get any initials, let me know, because I just want to, like I say, I connect with these people. When I'm doing the genealogy, I want them, I'm hoping that in 100 years' time, when somebody, oh wow, who put this genealogy records together? They come to my name 4 or 5 ways down the way and say, this is the person that made it possible for me to know where I came from. Oh no, I love it. Geez, are you kidding? I don't get to talk to very many people, especially about this. It's a new subject for me, which I know very little about. 1, 2, I don't feel comfortable usually asking people. I know they say the only question not asked is a stupid question. Other questions are not. Maybe I got that backwards. Who knows? My dyslexia. But I don't feel comfortable. Nobody wants to talk about. Face it. Nobody ever wants to talk about genealogy or our ancestors. I get so excited, man. Nobody seems to care, except for, let me tell you, one day this girl came to me, and we've become pretty good friends on Facebook ever since. And she said, I think I'm related to David Bowie. Can you help me? And I mean, most people, I guess, would say no. Not happening. I mean, I'm not charging any money or any other. And I'm telling you, I was determined. What I did is I took her tree and I made a Google map and put like red dots everywhere she was. And then those are hers. Then I took David Bowie, did his tree. Put little blue dots everywhere. And I noticed their dots were in a pretty close area for quite a few hundred years. There had to be a relationship at some point. And you know what? Sure enough, down the road, I found their common ancestor. And I made her really, really happy. I didn't know for sure I don't know if she was related to David Bowie or not, but you know what? She was. And I went with that feeling. Maybe it was a guiding feeling. Hey? Maybe it was. Maybe these ancestors do guide you and you don't even have to be your own ancestors. I think they need to, who doesn't want their story told, you know? Yeah. Well, if that's, if my ancestors are with me and protecting me, not only are there thousands of them, let me see how many thousands there are. There's thousands of them. I don't know how many people I got on my tree. I have thousands of people on my. I have a pretty good tree. I've been working on it for over 20 years. So that's a lot of people around me. I feel very good about that. Yeah. Speaking of David Bowie. Yeah. So that poster there shows you I can do anything. My friend wanted to, that became my friend. She had that feeling. And, people were calling her crazy. Ah, really? Where are your ancestors from? T. Roy Brown? Wait a minute. I know who you are. Oh my gosh. Well, hello, my son. This is my eldest son. Oh, it's good to see you. Good to see you still acting too, eh? You and your son there in the newest musical. I'm proud of you. Yeah, I'm starting to do lives. I don't know you don't even know the whole story about me. V-Team Paranormal Heroes from Nanaimo, and she's from Victoria, and she's a medium. We're talking about the ancestors, and that. Yeah, my son. Yeah, we have a very, very. Okay, I take it back. I do have one child who's interested in my genealogy work. And he has a grandson, so maybe that grandson can take the genealogical records and work on them. It's good to see you. Anyway, Troy, I better tell you right now, because in case you didn't get my email, I'm autistic. Okay, I have been diagnosed as autistic. In case you didn't understand or didn't know, because since this chat is partially to do with that, but it's all good. Yeah, that's all good. Oh, except for it's really hot in here. I'm going to open the window. Give me a minute. Oh, mighty hot. As you can see, I have a statue of your dog here in the corner, Troy. T. Roy. I have a statue of your dog. A statue here. I have a statue here of your dog. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. It was nice. It is. I couldn't get one of Lucy, but I did get one of your boy, and I did get one of yours is a boy, right? Our boy, Miles, our new boy. But yeah, thanks for popping in. Anyways, yeah, things have been happening, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the grandson. Keep on making music. Love you too, honey. Love you so much. Made my day. Oh, I wish I was out there to see it. Believe me. Until then, I'll follow in the Instagram and the YouTube pictures, and yeah. I'm thinking about what's next, but I'm not going to ask you until they announce the cast. I'm glad you followed up on that, because you've always wanted that. Anyways, I'm going to let you go. Give my love to the family. Give my love to the grandson, and love you all. Boy, B-Team Paranormal. Not only have you been talking about my ancestors, you managed to bring in my descendants as well. Wow. Oh, and Troy, happy birthday too, by the way. I know I wish it to you, but it was a major one. Breakfast. Yeah, I decided to try to start doing these lives in the morning with my coffee. The idea of promoting my website, maybe carrying on the work here, and this. I'm going to probably, well, for sure now, we're going to be looking at this Scottish genealogy. You've got me really thinking now, for one. Hopefully Troy will get it. He'll start thinking too, because he's got an ancestry. And it is awesome when your children are far away. Any moment you get to spend with them is a gift. And it has made it's made my day. I was having a rough day, and it's made my day. So yeah, I'm going to look into that into the genealogy, because just for the fact of the truth, maybe it's time I revisit these people. Like I say, Sunday always was genealogy Sunday, and I don't have my account anymore. If I paid account, but I do have $25 worth of books, which is probably like $2,500 worth of books with records that I can go through and see what I can find out. Yeah. Anyway, see what I can find about everybody, because like you say, they're all protecting us. I've got a huge crowd around me in that case. Wow. But first, I will be watching Ants Canada, because I need to find the latest drama with what's going on there. I'm going to say, Science Nature for Kids. Always loved it. Yes, my son and his son are actors. They're in a musical coming up. Did he say what it was? I don't know if I'm allowed to talk. Oh, School of Rock. There you go. Don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about. But yeah, so that's quite exciting. They recently did Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I'm sure was a lot of fun too. It's something he took up as a child, and it's so good to see, though, that he's a grandpa, that he's becoming involved in theater again with his son. It's nice. He obviously a lot more outgoing than I am. And the funny thing is, I had an email, but I don't know if he got it. But I hadn't really discussed the whole autism thing with him, so I better say something. Though he probably has understood. He probably has noticed it. He probably has noticed it through life that, hey, his mother's a little bit different than other moms. Oh, that was funny though. Oh, my Keroy Brown. Wait a minute. Oh, well, I think it's almost 6, so I'm gonna finish up the last little bit of joy. I'm going to watch the latest episode of Man's Canada, which is probably like 40 minutes long or something. And then check my friend Tanya, see how her day's been going in New York. Take a look at my stats. What else do I have to do? Oh, work on tidy up and promote my Christmas page. Yeah, proofread National Brownie Day. It's a pretty easy day. But then again, I'm not supposed to be sitting up, so I better get laying down flat in my back again and get better so I can start to have a life outside of this room again. You have an awesome day, and thanks for stopping by. If you get any initials or anything, just send me a message, because after I watch Ads Canada, we know what we're going to be doing on Ancestry. I'm going to be looking at names. So thanks for stopping by, and thanks for having coffee, and thank you, Troy, who is now gone. But wow, that is an awesome day. It truly is. Thank you for coming by.